Have you ever wondered how a civilization so grand and advanced as the Roman Empire could crumble into oblivion? This is the enigma that has fascinated historians and scholars for centuries. Picture an empire at its peak, spanning 3 continents, from the sun-drenched sands of Africa to the misty lands of Britain and the vibrant heart of Europe. It was a world of grandeur, with awe-inspiring aqueducts, roads that stretched to the horizon, and colossal amphitheaters that echoed with the cheers of thousands. Its influence was not just territorial but cultural as well, shaping the course of language, law, and art in ways that still resonate in our world today. Yet, such a beacon of civilization did not endure. What could have led to its fall? How did an empire so vast and influential fade into the annals of history? To understand this, we must travel back to the roots of the empire, to its very beginning. The Roman Empire began as a small city-state on the Italian peninsula around 509 BC. From such humble beginnings, the Roman Empire grew to become one of the most powerful entities the world has ever seen. Its expansion was largely due to its well-organized and disciplined military, which conquered vast territories across Europe, Asia, and Africa. These conquests brought lands stretching from the sandy dunes of Egypt to the foggy highlands of Britain under Roman rule. And it wasn't just about territorial gains. Each conquest was a strategic move that brought the empire wealth, resources, and a diversity of cultures. The Romans were savvy administrators, integrating conquered peoples into their political structure. They established the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability that lasted for over 200 years. This peace was maintained through a combination of military strength, effective governance, and the Roman law, which was a system of justice that was applied throughout the empire. But the Roman Empire was not just about military might and political acumen. It was a melting pot of cultures, where the arts, philosophy, and science flourished. Roman architecture, literature, and philosophy have had a lasting impact on the world. The Romans were known for their engineering marvels, such as aqueducts, roads, and bridges, many of which stand to this day. The economy of the empire was robust, driven by agriculture, trade, and mining. The Roman currency, the denarius, was used across the empire, facilitating trade and economic growth. The Romans also developed an extensive road system and established sea routes for efficient transportation of goods. The Roman Empire in its prime was a beacon of civilization and progress. Its influence extended far beyond its borders, shaping the course of history. It was an empire built on the pillars of military strength, political stability, cultural diversity, economic prosperity, and the rule of law. But alas, the empire's glory days were not to last. By the 3rd century AD, the Roman Empire had begun to show signs of strain. It was an era marked by mounting difficulties and a slew of problems that were starting to gnaw at the empire's vitals. One of the key issues was economic troubles. The once robust Roman economy was now in a precarious state. The empire's vast territories had become increasingly expensive to manage and maintain. The burden of taxation was heavy, and inflation was spiraling out of control. Then there was the issue of military overspending. The empire was spending an astronomical sum to maintain its armies and defend its borders. The cost of maintaining such a massive military machine was becoming unsustainable. The empire was literally bleeding itself dry to keep its military might intact. Among the other significant issues was government corruption. The empire was riddled with corruption from top to bottom. Bribes, fraud, and embezzlement had become the order of the day. The public trust in the government was eroding rapidly, and the empire's institutions were losing their legitimacy. The empire was also becoming increasingly divided. The vastness of the empire was a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it was a symbol of the empire's might and glory. On the other hand, it made governance incredibly challenging. The empire was split into 2 halves, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire, each with its own emperor. This division created a power struggle that further weakened the empire. The infighting among the aristocracy was another major problem. The Roman aristocracy was engaged in a constant power struggle. This infighting was not only destabilizing but also distracted from the empire's real issues. And last but not least, the empire was under increasing threat from barbarian invasions. The tribes from the north were becoming more and more audacious, repeatedly testing the empire's defenses. The empire was now teetering on the brink of collapse. The cracks were not just showing, they were widening. and the once mighty Roman Empire was on the verge of falling apart. In the 5th century AD, the final blows to the Roman Empire were struck. A period of intense upheaval, this era saw the mighty empire crumble under the weight of its own ambition, its vast territories proving to be too much to manage. Let's first look at the sack of Rome, which happened not once, but twice. In the early part of the 5th century, the Visigoths, a Germanic tribe, delivered the first blow. Led by their king, Alaric, they stormed into Rome in 410 AD, plundering the city that had for so long been the heart of the Western world. Just a few decades later, the Vandals, another Germanic tribe, followed suit. In 455 AD, they too sacked Rome, further destabilizing the already shaky empire. Each sack was a devastating blow, eroding the empire's power and reputation. Then came the abdication of the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustus. In 476 AD, pressured by Odoacer, a Germanic leader, young Romulus was forced to abdicate, signaling the end of the Western Roman Empire. Odoacer didn't claim the title of emperor, instead opting for the title of King of Italy. Meanwhile, the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to endure, but the Western Empire, it was reduced to a patchwork of Germanic kingdoms. But let's not forget the role of the Huns and the migration period in hastening the empire's fall. The Huns, a nomadic people from Central Asia, rampaged across Europe, pushing other tribes like the Visigoths and the Vandals into Roman territories. This mass migration caused further strain on the Roman Empire, with its borders constantly under threat. And then the Ostrogoths, led by their king Theodoric the Great, conquered Italy. By the end of the 5th century, the former heartland of the Roman Empire was now under the rule of a Germanic kingdom. And just like that, the mighty Roman Empire was no more. Its fall was not a single event, but a long, complex process, a series of blows that ultimately brought down an empire that had dominated the Western world for over 5 centuries. The fall of the Roman Empire is not just a tale of a bygone era, but a lesson for the present and the future. As we delve into the last chapter of our narrative, let's revisit the pivotal factors that led to the demise of this colossal empire. Economic instability, military overspending, government corruption, and external threats. These were the ingredients in the recipe for Rome's downfall. Firstly, the economic instability. Rome's economy was a complex and delicate structure. When it spiraled into chaos, the entire empire felt the tremors. One can't help but draw parallels to our current global economy. Today, financial crises in one corner of the world can have ripple effects across the globe, reminding us of the importance of economic stability and the dangers of unchecked financial maneuvers. Then, there was military overspending. Rome's vast territory necessitated a massive army, draining the empire's resources. Today, nations grapple with balancing defense spending and societal needs. We see that maintaining a strong military is essential, but not at the expense of other crucial areas like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Government corruption was a third nail in Rome's coffin. As power became centralized and leaders more autocratic, the empire suffered. This serves as a reminder to us that transparency, accountability, and justice are pillars of a stable governance structure. Finally, the external threats. Barbarian invasions were the final blow to the already crumbling empire. In today's context, we face different kinds of threats: cyber attacks, terrorism, and even pandemics. They remind us that we must be prepared, adaptable, and united in the face of adversity. These lessons from the Roman Empire are not archaic warnings, but relevant guideposts. They urge us to learn from the past to navigate our future. They remind us that societies like Rome are not invincible. Complacency can lead to downfall, while vigilance, adaptation, and unity can build resilience. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire, thus, serves as a timeless reminder that even the mightiest can fall, and that vigilance, adaptation, and unity are the keys to enduring success.